Welcome to the Powerful Podcast, where you will learn the marketing, strategies, and beliefs to grow your dream business. Totally possible, and I'm so excited to share this with you. I'm Almira Bardai, and I grew and scaled my own business from zero to multi-millions and sold the business. And now I'm here to teach you exactly how to grow and scale your business from 6 to 7 figures and more with ease, simplicity, joy, and fun with, of course, strategy, mindset, and marketing to take you to that next level.
Living in the feminine, one of my favorite subjects. So I took a bit of a break these past few months, and I just needed to heal my body, heal my mind, bring more joy, laughter, and ease into my life. And a lot of it was also about embodying a projector, which is to be out in nature, in the sunshine, putting my feet on the ground. And I felt like even though I felt like I lived a really slow, juicy life, I needed to slow down even more. I needed a juicier life. And that is what I've done and just what I've thrived through. And some would call it living a feminine life. So, for example, I wake up in the morning and, after I brush my teeth and everything, I stretch, I get a coffee, I just sit in silence out my living room window, looking at nature, absorbing myself in nature. I'll also turn on a candle and have my coffee by candlelight, which is actually a ritual that I've been sharing with so many women. There's so many women who are saying, I have to work, I need the money, I don't have time to slow down. And I say to them, all you need is one ritual and one slowing down moment because the living is lived in the moment. So I've started to spread the gospel of having coffee either morning or frankly anytime during the day by candlelight. And just that beautiful ritual and of spending a moment letting go of everything, pouring into yourself, just such a stunning tone for the day. Or like I said, if it's in the middle of the day and your brain is going crazy and your body is going miles a minute, and it's just that surrender, that letting go. There's such a delight in this feminine way of living. And when I say feminine, it doesn't mean a woman's way of living, although it certainly feels like it. A man could do it too. The world is in a new paradigm. There's a new way of living for all of us, regardless of gender. And it's not about the chasing and the going after. And I've got this image in my mind of men going out into the world and crushing their goals and desires, as do women. But there's a softness, a texture that's come into our world where there's so much ease and lush and pleasure and delight. And living from that point and loving into it and really getting intimate and connected and getting to know that part. And it's in there for all of us. And coming and living from there. What brings my body, my mind, my tongue pleasure? During this time of rest, I've always really wanted to bake and be a good baker. So I've been baking vanilla buttercream cakes, 3-tier vanilla buttercream cakes with buttercream icing. And there's such a joy in baking that cake and then icing it. But the texture on my tongue, the mouthfeel of that tongue, of that soft, spongy cake and the sweet, but not too sweet icing. And living in the savoriness of it, living in the minute. There's something to that texture that is living, and that's living with all of our senses. Again, be it man or woman or any gender, it's being human, that texture of being human and of being aligned and your body coming alive from the textures and the tastes in your mouth and through your whole body. As we do that, it opens up our bodies to receiving as well, receiving joy, receiving pleasure. Again, being with candlelight, there's a softness. Our body's exhaling, our breath is exhaling. It's and it's like having a reset or perhaps a start to the day in such a beautiful manner where in a strange way as we surrender to these beautiful experiences, we're having more control over our lives because we're in our bodies. And there's a feeling that we want to capture throughout the day. And being in that energy, that lush, it's abundance, and then operating in our rest of the day and in our work from that way. There's so much feeling and thought about scarcity. And we've heard so much about how scarcity has become wired into our body from past generations and family and stories. But the trueness of our body, of our essence, I mean, our essence, it's all energy. We are energy. And the true essence of the human body is lush and abundance. I mean, think about it. You've got a heart pumping all of these veins and vessels and arteries, and you have an abundance of blood. You are alive. There's an abundance of oxygen and fresh air. You are alive. Inherently, we come from abundance. We don't come from scarcity. We tap into this abundance and we realize, oh my God, I'm an extension of source energy. I'm limitlessly limitlessly abundant. I can create anything. And like I said, just those small rituals of just coming back into the moment to ourselves, taking that break. I tell you, one of my friends, she's so busy with work right now and she feels like she can't slow down. And even I said to her, you don't need to do a 20-minute meditation. Do 5 minutes of sitting in silence, 5-minute vipassana, if you will. Or again, just having a cup of tea by candlelight, enjoying the ritual of pouring the water into the kettle, turning it on, just standing still and using your timer as the kettle boiling. So again, it slows your body down. It slows your nervous system down. We're getting it into parasympathetic. Just exhaling, going and sitting and having that cup of tea. Perhaps the only thing that you're concentrating on is the savoriness or the mouthfeel of the coffee or tea, or you're just enjoying the heat of the candle, staring at the candle, or having no thoughts at all. That is the new abundant way of living and also filling up our energy. Everything is an energetic input and output. So how are we refilling our energy? I know that I just want to be in a time of peace and lush and looking out my window and just admiring the beauty of the world. That's what fills me up and gives me even more passion and desire to spread my message. And these feminine rituals, just these short feminine rituals that I've been able to do throughout the day, I just feel like I'm pouring into myself. And truly, like I said, this is a new paradigm, a new way of living but also of how we do our work. We're seeing that desire to have more autonomy over our lives, more autonomy over our work, not just to be delivering for somebody, but it is ownership of our days. I love to work from home. I can get some laundry done. I can have my rituals. I get to be in my gorgeous, lush black satin slippers. And I want those moments of experience, which I feel like can't get in a workplace environment, although I know people do get very juiced up by work environment. But for me, I get to stay in this beautiful energy when I'm at home. And going back to this new paradigm of coming back into our bodies, regulating our nervous system. It's all, emotional intelligence and body intelligence. And when we start to live more from our bodies and our true, authentic, calm, delightful, lush selves, we start to magnetize our dreams. I'll say I was having some skin problems and I would just say, I love my beautiful skin. My beautiful skin is gorgeous. And my skin problems went away in a couple of days. I was having quite a bit of insomnia. And then I started to say, I'm such a great sleeper. Oh my gosh, right now I'm enjoying this extraordinary sleep. What a beautiful dream. And then I would fall asleep right away and have a beautiful dream. There's an aching for a juicy life, a slower life, being healed, being present, and being in our divine selves, our natural essence, our way of being overall. It used to be that we worked for life. Now I want work to be a way that, yes, I get a financial abundance, but I want it to be a way that I give back. I spread my message, but I want to be in service of me and my living, not me and my working. And I think that we are all starting to feel that yearning, yes, for something different, but that yearning for something softer, more present. Just like Robin Sharma said, is that a life is lived in a sunset and a sunrise. That moment of observation, that moment of your heart bursting and your senses bursting from the beauty of a sunrise or a sunset. That is the way we should truly be living. It should no longer be that we are hearing about all of these gurus living like this. Again, go back to Robin Sharma. He has a villa in Italy and has leisurely days with a great amount of focus. You've seen the 5 a.m. method. But that's how he chooses to lead his lush life. But getting to that slower, that juicier, filling our heads with knowledge and yes, some entertainment, but we don't need to binge watch Netflix. I'm a great one for wanting half an hour to be entertained and just to turn my mind off. But where is my lush? And again, we are all desiring to be in that lush, that softness, but we just don't see how we can have the capacity to do it with so much of our time being occupied by work or kids or home responsibilities or caring for somebody else or just, getting the car fixed or the grocery shopping. How can you find moments of ritual and even if efficiency? I don't grocery shop anymore. I Instacart. Even as much as I love to choose my own produce, yes, I will stop at a farm market to do something very special as a ritual, like choosing eggs. But I know a grocery store has great produce. I Instacart it because it gives me that few more minutes to sit. I desire to sit. I desire to take care of my mind, my body, and my health. And for me, that takes precedent. Wealth is not just money. Wealth is health. Wealth is love. Wealth is connection with other people in our community. For me, it's also raising my child in a village of other extraordinary women and their families. And so when I say, what is the one thing that you can do for that slow, lush, rich life? It's not something that you have to do as a retreat, a 3-day retreat. What is the one thing that you can do in this moment for a few moments just to take a break, to tap into that slowing down, into this new paradigm, this new way of living, where we as individuals, we come first. It's not the rat race or work or everything that we're trying to achieve. This is true happiness, true joy, true enlightenment. So again, I leave you with this. Which few-minute ritual can you tap into to start tapping into your lush, your moment, your daily ritual?
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Powerful Podcast. I've so enjoyed sharing all of my insights, all my mistakes, all of my learnings as I grew and scaled my business from 6 to 7 figures. If you enjoyed this, please leave us a review. And then I'll send you back my top 3 ways to make $10,000. And I tell you, they're super easy, super creative, and super easy for you to implement. So please drop us the review, send it over, and we will send you back with my top 3 ways to make $10,000.